Rainier Radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining another episode of Real Estate and Money. My name is Tina Lombard, and I am thankful to be unmuted. Here I am. Hello everyone. This is Tina Lombard, and I am one of your hosts of Real Estate and Money, and we're going to be talking about, again today, real estate and money. We're waiting for Violeta Strash, who is also a co-host, to come on. But, welcome again, once again, welcome to our show, where we talk about all things related to getting financing for houses, for finding the right house for you, and all of the bells and whistles that go along with buying a home. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about single women and what we look for in homes. So it's quite a different thing. Sometimes women, they're buying houses with their sisters or their mothers, or most often with a husband. But what if you don't have a husband? What if you don't have a significant other and you're wanting to buy a home? And let's say you're in your 30s or your 40s or 50s, maybe you're in your 20s. What makes finding a house different when you're a single woman? Well, I would like to say I'm a single woman, and I have owned two or three houses in my name, and it's quite easy. Sometimes you have to get over that hump. But, when I was married, of course, I shared a title with my husband. At that point in time, I was the breadwinner, and I kind of made the mortgage payments, so on and so forth. So when we split, I bought another house, and I bought another house, and everything is great. Everything is dandy. So what's the difference between getting a home by yourself or with a man? Well, the only difference is there's only one person on that loan application as opposed to two people. So I want to encourage you today, if you are a single woman out there and you're living in an apartment or you're living with your family members or something, you'd like to have a house of your own, then go ahead and apply and qualify. I have been known to do a lot of loans for single women, and it's a very easy thing. So Daniel, do we have V on? Yes, there she is.
Hello,
Hi, V.
everyone. Little
Great.
technical difficulties, the usual.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Yes. So anyways, I was just talking to our audience, and I was talking to them about being a single woman and buying a home. And that was our topic for today.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And what did
Yes.
you tell them? I
Well, I
heard
just
the application form, right?
Yes. So, sometimes I have one person on a loan application. Sometimes I have two. Sometimes I have four people on the same application. So if you're a woman, you don't need another person. All we need to do is look at your income. So I did a lot of loans for women in the last couple of years, and these women are making $150,000 a year. They're making $180,000 a year. They're professional women, and they more than qualify for a home. I have one girlfriend, and I asked her, she's in her 50s. I said, well, do you want to get a house? I mean, what's going on? You've been renting all your life. And she said, well, I'm not married, so what do I need a house for? And I'm like, of course for the tax write-offs, and everything else. And you've got the equity that you're building in your house. If you're a woman and you're 40 years old, you buy a house, you've got 20 years to build equity in your home. So I've got more than enough equity in my house to live off and retire, so on and so forth. But if I were living in an apartment, somebody else is going to get the benefits off of my hard-earned money. So I was just saying, hey, if you're a woman, you want to qualify for a home, then go ahead and qualify for a home. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a house. It can be a condo, a townhouse.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And some people just do not want the hassle of doing yard work or any of that, maintaining a fence, for example, but some people do. So there are various options for you single women out there.
Right. And it's really something because I like to garden. I've got a beautiful garden in my backyard.
Yeah.
I like to get out there and cut the grass, and when I was in Seattle, though, I had a house. It was on a hill, and even though I had a lawnmower and I had son and everybody else and a brother-in-law to cut my grass, I actually paid somebody. It was like $150 a month.
Whoa.
I mean, whatever. I mean, it really wasn't enough for me. That was like what, four Starbucks visits. I mean, that was really nothing. But women, though, everybody wants something different. Sometimes women, like you said, they want condos because they just want low maintenance. They go in there, they do their thing. They've got a security guard. They've got a house and they don't have to worry about the landscaping or anything. And so that's really good for them. And then other women are like, hey, I've never had my own yard. I want to play volleyball in my backyard. I want to have barbecues. I want the kids to come over and my grandkids run around the backyard. So everybody is so different. But I want to encourage women out there that you can do it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have a few clients right now. One, a single gal, okay, and she wants to venture out on her own, and she's got 4 cats. So she's got to see
Wow.
homes that have, she's open to homes. She wants a house. She
Yeah.
doesn't
You
want
can't have
to
that many cats in the apartment. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why is because HOA dues are so high in some cases. And that
Yes.
will bump your mortgage payments up every month. Your
Right.
monthly payments crazy,
Right.
depending on what the HOA dues are. So she absolutely doesn't want any of that. So therefore, a house is probably what we're going to go for her.
Good. Good.
And then I have another woman who is an empty nester. Her husband passed away, and she wanted to be in an area that is safe and something different from where she was. And first we found a place in the Tahali area. Verterra, it's a 55 plus community, something that her and her husband were thinking about in another area. But, here she is, she's not too far from her old home, but
Right.
yet her friends are saying, she's so far away, and she's going, I don't know if they'll come visit me. And I don't know if I'll be lonely or what's going to happen to me up there. But you know what? She's been there almost a year, or maybe it's over a year, and she is loving it. That community is very vibrant. She is out doing stuff with her new friends. She's not the only single woman, but they're all 55 plus people. There's a lifestyle coordinator, a manager, and
Fun.
he has them going out on things, just excursions and hiking and biking and chili cook-offs and all these things. And all of a sudden she does not have time for her other friends, and they're going, what the heck happened to her? She doesn't come to any of our stuff. Well, because you guys are boring. She's got all these activities, crafts and stuff that she does with these other people and the women, and she's loving it there. She's so happy, so happy, and it's very safe. So that's the main thing for single women. I want them to be in a place where they're feeling safe. They've got people that know them or can easily get to know them. Gated communities is wonderful for single women. That's what I would want if I was single.
Oh, yeah.
A gated community and things to do, and exercise equipment, pools, and all that stuff. Right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I have, what else did you have about the single women? They make fairly good income. So they're saving up their nest egg for something. And
yes.
They should invest in homes.
Yes. Well, and here's the thing too, with security, I'm in Colorado. It's like the wild, wild west here. All my friends carry. All of them carry. And they've got, just like they have like 10 pairs of stilettos and five pairs of suits. They've got weapons. They got this, and that. They've got all these different type of weapons. So when it comes to security, it's like the wild, wild west here. We're like, come on. I mean, it's like, so it's a whole different thing here. It's a whole, it's not like really the inner city here. But you're right about that. Like the gated communities, I've got, if you want to bring that up really quick, Daniel, I just have a link to a place. It's called Heritage, Eagle, and there's a golf club here. I don't know if you can pull that up, Daniel, but this is a community, Heritage Eagle. This is right by my house. It's over 55, and they have got a beautiful they have a giant country club, and so the people who live in this community have a country club, and they've got golf courses there. They've got a giant swimming pool. They've got restaurants there. They've got dancing classes. They have a music club, and it's absolutely stunning. Now, here you go, right there, Heritage Band. And,
Okay.
I don't know if you can scroll down just a little bit and you can show some of the houses there. But this is just right here in my neighborhood. Can you scroll down just a little bit, Daniel, on that? But so this right here, and keep on going to it. There you go. You see the houses and stuff? The houses are right on the golf course. So there are a lot of women that live here who are single women, and they're in their 50s, their 60s, and their 70s, and they are loving life. They're golfing, they're out here doing yoga. They've got. I was there. I was performing for a luau that they have. They had a luau out in the back, and they were taking. I don't know, some type of Zumba, underwater Zumba classes were going on. And I mean, the lifestyle was absolutely insane. And they got restaurant food and just high class drinks. And it's a whole club for over 55 and above. And, they've got days where they take the golf courts out in the neighborhood and they just run around the neighborhood, and drink or whatever they got to do. But it is a whole lifestyle after 55,
It's
and
amazing.
these women, the men need the security because of the women. Okay, it's the other way around. The women are after the men. We got those types running around there. So the men need security. So there's a lot of women who are single, and they're in these communities that are gated. It's gated to come in, but it's an actual. It's a wonderful place to have a lifestyle. You can go hiking. You can go down to the swimming pool. You can do golfing. You can go listen to jazz music up in the restaurant. But that's all in the country club. So thank you, Daniel. Thank you. So here in Colorado, there's a lot of places like this that women are choosing. Before, men would make $200,000 a year, and the women would make $40,000 a year. That's how things used to be in the 70s, the 80s, even parts of the 90s. But now the women are making $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
And they don't have any bear cubs, or their kids have left the nest. Maybe they're divorced, or maybe they never got married, and they don't want the little place. They want the house where they can run around and they can throw these lavish cocktail parties. I have parties here all the time, but
Yeah, I know you
have
do.
stupid parties, but I like having 20 people in my house. I don't want a situation where I can't blast my music. So another thing too, I have surround sound in my house. I've got speakers in every room. So I blast my Bruno Mars, I blast my Sade, I blast everything, Prince. I blast my music, and nobody's here to tell me to stop. Me and my dog dance around, and nobody's gonna bang on the ceiling saying, "Hey, you're too loud." No one's gonna say that. I've got a dog that runs around, and although he's only like 15 pounds, I have girlfriends who've got these giant dogs. They're like 40, 50, 60 pounds, and their dogs, they've got two of them. So their dogs act like security, and those dogs run around the house, and they don't have to worry about, being in a secluded place. So women, we're doing it differently. We'll carry, for security. We've got our animals. We've got women. Usually, there's a community of women who are single and just loving life. I mean, like in next month, me and 4 of the girls are going to go up to Breckenridge and rent out a cabin, for 4 or 5 days and just have fun,
Yeah.
And we all own houses. We all bought houses by ourselves. And
All
a
of
lot
you are
of people,
single, you're saying?
all of us are single. All of us are single. All of us we bought houses on our own. And it's not anything against men, because men are beautiful and so on and so forth. But some women, either through a bad divorce, or they just never got married, or they're widowed. They're single by default. And there's still life out there. Yes, there are men out there, and that's wonderful, and they're just a blessing too. But if you're in a situation where you're single right now, don't say, "Hey, I got to have a man before I find a house," because then you're in a whole world of hurt. It only takes. I think my sister bought her house. She sold her house for like $149 in Fedgeway, and then bought by Des Moines for $300,000. Her house went up $150,000 in 1 year. In 1 year. And I was like, "Lynn, that house is making more money than you are." I said, "Don't sell it. I need to go somewhere else." But she was in a situation where her house went up $150,000. In 1 year. So when women say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait till I get married or until I find the one," you're losing out on equity, you're losing out on tax benefits, and you're really doing yourself a disservice, because that's $150,000 my sister made in 1 year. But if she was sitting around going, "Oh, I need to wait for my knight of shining armor to come and sweep me off my feet so he can buy a house for us," she wouldn't have the stuff that she has. So women have a different consciousness now, and of course, it's nothing against men. It's all about uplifting women. Where we come from a baby boomer generation. I'm the last of the baby boomers, but we were told that we were to sit quiet, find a man, he'll take care of you. And that's not the case. So women are buying houses with ranches. They got horses. There's over here in Colorado, there's women with like 20 acres, and they have horses.
Whoa.
And they got dogs, and they're like, "I got horses. Come on, we'll go ride some horses." Or they're in Fredericksburg, and so they're not confined to just like a little room. I want to get a little room, and I don't want to, I don't want to plant my tomato. No, they don't want to do that. They're like, "Hey, I'm gonna get a ranch. I'm gonna raise cattle, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do
Okay.
it."
But
So
one thing I wanted to say back up to when you were saying people are packing, women are packing, but there are options where you can simply just pay, for example, Fairwood Greens area in Renton. There you can pay $25 a month and you can have 24/7 security. They drive around, make sure everybody's safe, and you can have access to them 24/7, like I said. So that's one option. And then I have, Tina, you ready for my samples of
let's do it. Let's go.
Options for women? Daniel, did you get that you can share? I can't see the screen. But are you able to share the PowerPoint that I sent over? Do you see anything?
Not just yet, but
But there again, it doesn't have to be a house because you don't want to do yard work. You can have a townhouse where typically there are 3 levels to a townhouse. The main level is where you would have a garage, typically maybe a bedroom, and then you go up a flight of stairs. That's where the living area would be, with the living room, dining or eating area and kitchen. And then you go upstairs one more flight to bedrooms and bathrooms. And maybe there's a couple of other bathrooms on each floor. So that's an option. And they have small yards. Most of them are fenced. And then there are condos, whether it's 1 level, 2 levels. And those have, maybe in both cases, I forget if there's an HOA there. I had a home in Ballard. I wanted to show you a townhouse. There's no HOA there, but in Bellevue, a condo that I was going to show here. Listen to this. The HOA per month is $954. It's like, whoa, who can pay for that? Plus mortgage. Right? So, you got to think about stuff like that when you're looking into condos and townhouses and sometimes even homes. And there was a house that I was wanting to show in University Place, where you can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. These are all 3-bedroom, 2-bath options. And a home would have more than 1 garage stall. So this one had 2 garages in place, and for $750,000, no HOA, cute little house in University Place. That's a winner right there. And anyway, what was the other thing I wanted to say about condo? It slips my mind. I'm sorry. I'm not seeing the pictures, so that's okay. I just wanted to tell you that there are a lot of things for women out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, the gated communities and quiet neighborhoods. But here's what I wanted to say. There's a lot of options, a lot of options in the price range that I was looking at $750 to $850. Based on what Tina was telling me, the income of a lot of these single women have that she has worked with. And you know what? You need to get closer to the city, actually, if you want to have any activity happening. You can't find a man in the wilderness. Maybe you can.
Well, we're not searching for them. But here's the thing, though. I mean, I have some women who own property on Silicon, and they're out there in American Lake, right there in Bridgeport and over there, and they've got boats and everything else, and they're having cocktail parties and stuff, and we're no longer. Yeah. It's just, I mean, for me, where am I gonna put my horses? I mean, it's like for me, when I buy another house, I'm gonna have room for horses and everything else. I'm not doing this. But that's me. There's some women who say, hey, I just want to be right here. That's great. But I still want to be Alexa Carrington that lived in Denver. I still want to do all that. So, for me, it's different. And there are women out there making good money, and they're I want to have my Jeep. I want to have my camper. I want to have my RV. My girlfriend moved here. My girlfriend visited from Palm Springs, and she's a new widow. And she has her house paid off in Palm Springs. She bought an RV for like $100-something thousand, and now she's driving around the country, and she does not want to be confined. She's got a swimming pool in her backyard. She's got a hot tub. She's living life large. And her house is paid for and everything now, but she's living large, and she's not gonna, she can't do like a 2 bedroom thing. So it's different. And she also is another one that packs, but she's running around having the time of her life. So women, we're breaking the stereotypes. It's 2025. You want to go buy something on a lake, so you put some boats. Oh, I have this other woman. Oh my God, she sells the insurance for gun carriers, and I just did her loan. She bought a house in Alabama, on a lake with a gazebo, with a pier, with a boat. She bought this house and this giant barn. And I'm like, oh my God, can I come visit you? She's like, Tina, I'm doing it. And I'm like, oh my God. I think she got it for like $450,000. It was absolutely inexpensive. And she's like, Tina, I'm out. Peace out. And so she bought a house on a lake and has a pier and has a gazebo and all this other kind of stuff. She came from Denver. She was just living in some house, kind of near the city. And so she's living large. So you can do that more often than not. You can do that. You really can do that right now. And don't say, well, I got to get something that's safe. I mean, that's great if you want to, but if you're a cowgal, if you're one of these rangers out there, these warriors, you're a road warrior, go out and get it. If you got the money for it, there's always tax shelters.
Yeah.
A lot of people,
have you ever? Do you do loans on houseboats?
Houseboats, you can do a home equity loan for a houseboat, and it's considered like a second home. But Key Bank and Viking Bank in Seattle does houseboats.
Mm-hmm.
So residential, we have to have land.
Okay.
Yeah, but like Viking Bank, I think it was, and Key Bank has a program. But there's something else too. A houseboat. My God, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But I mean, it's like I want to tell people too. There's especially a lot of people who had they got a home and maybe they were married at the time before their husband passed away. They owe $48,000 on the house. The house is worth like $1.8 million now. They're like, well, what do I do? Get a bridge loan. Whatever you got to do. Sell your house, but go buy another house in your dream location. It could be away from your family. It could be near your family, but go out there and live. I mean, live. I mean, now we're not living until we're 68 years old anymore. We're living until we're, 120, 110. You still have over half your life left, So go out there and live large. A lot of times you'll find houses in the country. I mean, like you were saying, these HOAs are $900 a month. Well, go buy your house up in the suburbs and pay somebody $150 a month to cut your grass. And then put $850 in your pocket or whatever it is, $750 in your pocket. But there are ways to go around. And a lot of women, they're making a lot of money. They got pension, they got Social Security, they got retirement, they got a side job, they've got cash flow from different sources. And they're like, well, what do I do? Well, let's go buy a house up in Snoqualmie, for example, in Cincadia or something like that. Let's go buy something in Gig Harbor or somewhere, and somewhere where it's I'm on the water. Here in Colorado, we'll go by the mountains, or something, go by a lake or something like that. Go where there's some country where you can have the seclusion. A lot of women here, we're not trying to be around men. We're trying to be somewhere where we're just happy and peace of mind. And we can find men online now. You can order them online. You don't have to be anywhere. We can order them online. But we want to be somewhere where we've got the tranquility, we've got the fresh air, we've got the health, we've got the organic. We can grow our organic garden. We can have the dogs run loose. We can ride a horse. Some women want to do that, and you can do that right now more than any time in history. Right now, sellers are pretty desperate. They want to sell their property, so they're like, just take it. What do you want to offer? You want to offer that? Fine. Let's take it, wrap it up, sign the contract, let's go. So women, don't say that I want to wait for a man, or I don't have a family, so I don't need a house. It's absolutely insane. In fact, they say that over 38% of all houses are owned by single women.
38%? Wow.
Single women. So women are out there, they're doing it. They're absolutely doing it. I mean, it used to be couples, used to be first-time home buyers, but now it's these single women who are like, you know what, I got time for anything. I want to buy my house. I got my dogs, and I want, I got my car, I got my sports cars, I got a Jeep, I got a sports car, I got another car, and they want to park their cars, and they have several of them. So all my girlfriends have got an SUV and a sports car, and you got to have both, and they're not going to park, they're not going to be in the city, they're out there. So if you want to live large, get with a loan officer, get with Violeta. Violeta's got an eye like you wouldn't believe. Get yourself a house. She just found a house that's on a lake, right? For a young couple. It's like 2 acres. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Real nice.
Via's got the eye. So, if you're curious, you just want to know, just give me a call. And I can get you some numbers. You don't have to call me and commit to a loan. But you can call me and say, hey, Tina, this is what I make. This is what I want to buy, And I'll say, yeah, you're approved for this much. And then have Violeta go out and just look at some stuff. Take a girlfriend with you. You know?
Yeah. And why wait? The interest rates dropped slightly, last week. I don't know what's going to happen this Thursday, but now's the time to do it. Get into a house before the holidays, because now next time we see you, we're going to talk about what's happening around the holidays, probably.
Yeah.
And be ready for family. And but buy a house now. You'll get in before Christmas.
Let me tell you, Violeta, if women see your house, they see what you've done to your house. She got the fountain, she got the flowers, she got the deck. Violeta's house is beautiful. She renovated like the entire thing. She busted this wall, put this in, put that in, got a refrigerator. V's house is absolutely the epitome of what I'm saying. If you see her house and what she did to it, you're going to say, I'm a woman, I want to do what Violeta did to her house. Because this is absolutely...
But I'm not single.
It just makes sense. But women always rule the rules. We're always decorating.
Exactly right.
I'm going to decorate. Yeah.
Hey,
I want to decorate.
Do you have any announcements that you can run through real quick?
Yes, we do. We've got some announcements here. Tune in later today at 5 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio for the third part of A Conversation with Seattle Community Police Commission, hosted by CPC Executive Director Ed Amay and Tony B. on the community concerns about surveillance cameras. Also live, Washington Metro League High School 3A football this Friday on Rainier Avenue Radio at 7 p.m. featuring Franklin at Undefeated West Seattle with play-by-play, color commentary, interviews, and up to the minute scores and standings. So yes. Half the people I know in Seattle went to West Seattle or Franklin, so that's kind of funny.
Okay.
Yes. But anyways, so I guess that's it.
We're done?
We're done.
Boy, that half hour goes by fast. Hey, real quick, I want to say happy birthday to my brothers. Yes, two of them, Lester and Theodore, because they're 4 years apart today. And if Jim Burton, you're still watching, thank you for joining us. And we'll see everybody else next time, next Tuesday, 2:30 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
I'm Tina Lombard.
Yeah. And I'm Violeta Strash with Coldwell Banker. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.